I'm sorry.
That's Charlie.
Charlie.
That's not Charlie. That's Sparky. You know, I was thinking about Charlie. Charlie, we love you to the moon and back. Get
Yes,
we do. So sorry. I was just informed. We were just informed.
You're never gonna believe this, folks. The Raiders have detected
that any band who charges $1 for any of their material are sellouts. So you over there, if you're doing some local band shit, touring all over your community, bringing good metal to your otherwise metal-less community, and you charge anything so you can break even, you're also a sellout.
right.
We were just informed.
No, I didn't know that there was metal bands that do all their shit for free. Pass out their CDs.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, they invest all that work.
Yeah, who? Who are these bands?
Well, I'm sure homeboy in the, what's his name?
We're gonna have to ask our man.
We're gonna have to ask our man. You know what? I bet you anything he works for free.
I'm sure.
I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you he works for free. Doesn't accept a check because he ain't no sellout.
No. No.
He works for free for charity. Expression. All right.
Moving right along.
I just had to add some levity because we're about to go into a serious subject.
Oh, really?
So this is the song Purity from Slipknot. This is a song about a girl, basically, her name was Purity Knight, I'm pretty sure.
That's a pretty name.
And then she gets kidnapped.
I should have known something horrible was coming.
And then unfortunately she got buried alive and found her dead.
Buried alive?
Yeah. Yeah. So Corey's writing a song about this poor girl. Funny fact, this song was like an obsession of mine for a while because...
What? Why?
Because everybody kept talking about this song Purity, but when I was listening to it on the record, I could never find it. It was supposed to be song 8.
Yeah.
Then I look at the record and song 8 was Me Inside. It wasn't Purity. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And like there was some lawsuit or something like that, or they stole something, or...
Oh, really?
I don't know what it is. Some controversy around it. So they stole a riff or something. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm just making shit up. But it got taken. It wasn't on the original record.
Oh.
So anyway, it was like this like underground secret record or whatever. And anyway, I really liked the song. But once I finally heard it, I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. But I always wondered to myself, like...
Maybe it was the desire.
Yeah,
Once you got it, and you were like, oh man, that tastes so good.
Yeah, well, the Slipknot, they just gave it away for free. They just gave that record
That's very
away
noble
for free.
of them.
Well, no, it's just what you expect.
Right.
We all deserve...
They're metal, right?
We all deserve to have everything we want. So...
This song is called Purity. Psychopathic days, I create this place. Back away from tendons on the verge of drastic ways. Can't escape this place, I deny your face. Buckets in my eyes, I think I'm simply dying. Living in a homemade cellar. The put me in a hole for shelter. Someone find me, please. All I see is hate. I can only breathe and I cannot take it. Hands on my face, I'm a berry, I can't get up. Hands on my face, I'm a berry, I can't. Running my own car, staring at the sky. Waiting for the red difference such a size. All around me, weak, missing incomplete. I am not a dog, but I'm the way you're talking. I am very clever. I have never felt so final. Someone find me, please. Losing all reserve. I don't think I'm gonna know what flies on it. Hands on my face, I'm a berry, I can't get out. Hands on my face, I'm a berry, I can't get water, but you'll never see something to talk. Good water, but you'll never see something to talk. Good water, but you'll never see something to talk. Good water, but you'll never see. There's something in you I take mine. Oh my God, I'm in the bed. I'm in the end of my way. I got die. I die. I die. Get water, but you'll never see something to talk. Get water, but you'll never see something to talk. Get water, but you'll never see something to talk. Get water, but you'll never see something to do with this stuff. This stuff. God? Have you ever seen God?
Was he saying, have you ever seen God?
Have you ever seen God? That's what he says at the end. I mean, that wasn't in the original, but there you are. Live show.
You know
Live
what?
show.
This is an interesting thing to say after everything that we said when we first opened up. But if I was that girl and that something like that happened to me, I would be so happy that somebody was making a song like about it, as long as they were doing it to bring awareness to what happened. But if they did it because they were like, yo, that's a cool thing to make money off, that would really bother me. I mean, I would be gone and it wouldn't really matter to me anyway. But I'm just saying the concept, like now that I'm living, thinking about it, if they made this to like bring awareness to like what she was going through, then good for them. But if it was like, hey, there's an awesome, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think she was a case study in something else to these guys.
What do you mean?
Well, the chorus, when you her name is ironic because her name is Purity.
Right.
But what they did was obviously a very impure act. But the line, "You all stare, but you'll never see. There's something inside me."
Yeah.
And I think what he's talking about is the guys that did that to her. I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
So like you're looking at just common people, everyday people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure those guys that did that to that girl just look like regular everyday people. And then boom, what is inside of human beings that makes them do such impure acts? You see what I'm saying? Like there's a very like interesting metaphor in the girl's name being Purity, and then human beings doing that, killing purity, basically.
Yeah.
So that phrase, "You stare but you'll never see, there's something inside of me," is always that's always fascinated me because I'm so fascinated by the capability of evil in normal people. That just completely, it just fascinates me, you know, and I think about that a lot. Because, I always see people, you're shopping at Walmart, you're doing whatever, and everybody's being nice and shit, and it only takes a couple things, and those same people would murder you.
Right.
And take all your shit.
No, it's true. No, it's
like,
true.
It's really, it's human nature. It's a fucked up thing.
Yeah, I never really thought about it as being like a human nature thing, like, like what they did to the Jews and stuff, and how everybody kind of stood by and let it happen or took part in it. Like, I always thought that was those people.
Yeah.
And then, like, I remember reading about slavery, and I was like, oh, that was those people. But
Yeah,
I felt like that we were awakened enough where we wouldn't be in that situation and we wouldn't do that to people. But we do that in our own time. That Slayer song, we do it, whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you see pictures of chopped up like little babies, and it's a
But I'm sure that there's going to be people in further times from now that are going to look back and they're going to think, well, we wouldn't do that.
Look at these fucking barbaric
Yeah.
people. But in the future, they're probably going to be disposing of old people. It's probably going to be destroying killing the elderly, like in The Giver. Basically when you were done, they would release you.
Well, I guess it depends on what happens in the future. Like,
Inshallah.
if the future gets worse, or if the future is actually progressing to get better.
Yeah.
Then, maybe by then more people will be woke.
Yeah.
So when it was saying, you all stare, but you'll never see something inside of me, who's talking, do you think? Her or them?
I think it's them.
And so they're talking at all the people that are staring at them because of the atrocities that they did?
Yeah, I think it's deeper than that. I think it's that he is speaking, but he is that person in the line ahead of you at Walmart. He is that person that you stop for in traffic to let go, like just a normal everyday person. You're just staring at them, but you don't see. It was that movie Frailty, and I'm sorry to give away a spoiler here, but in the movie Frailty, this guy, he's fucking crazy, but he gets this message from God that he is God's, hammer of justice. And so he goes around and snatches these people and he starts killing them. And so he has two sons, and one son is like a true believer, and the son is like, hey, this is great. We should, it's Dad. Dad can't be wrong. And then the other son's like, what the fuck is you can't do this. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're killing these innocent people. And the whole movie you're just watching in horror as this poor boy is trying to like reason with his brother and reason with his dad, and he could never convince him to stop killing people. Right. But then by the end of the movie, you go back and it turns out that nice guy that the dad kidnapped and killed had like 4 little small children in his basement, and then that innocent woman was basically a black widow, and she was killing people. And like you just see like all these normal people that you just thought were nice people. I'm not saying go beat God's arm of justice, but it was just a really crazy commentary on human nature about the capabilities of what people. And from what I've seen, and I've seen some. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot.
What, push somebody over the edge?
It doesn't take a lot for a whole culture to turn against a given group of people.
Oh, no, that's so,
decent Christian people, like you talk about slavery and shit, and the fucking horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, and the shit that's happening in the Middle Passage, and, it was so fucking bad on those boats that these guys were jumping over and getting consumed by sharks and drowning and all that shit. It was just... it was that bad, and for, good God-fearing, church-going people, and this is not commentary on Christianity, it's just...
It's human nature.
It's human nature, like, it doesn't matter what it is, and you can turn people against people, and, or the pogroms in Russia, and the anti-Semitic pogroms in Russia, and there's a rise in anti-Semitism. Even in our comment section, people are saying shit about the Jews. They're less than 1% of the world's population, and like the whole. So it's just this crazy thing within human nature where you're just normal everyday people, and you see it in the internet.
Oh yes.
You know?
Yes, it becomes a lot more obvious when you start looking at comments and different things. Like, just, yeah, I think people, like you say, like, people get more bold when they're, I think they shoulder more their true self when they're behind the keyboard than...
Yeah, keyboard gangsters.
Yeah, it definitely brings out the true heart of somebody, or the lack thereof.
Yeah. It's such a crazy world we live in, you know. One of the craziest... Go ahead.
It makes me think of, again, there's always stuff that you're watching, like I just hear it while I'm doing other things, but, you know, that guy was saying how, like, you know, he gets death threats, you know, like a YouTuber, he gets death threats, and like...
Roberto Blake, check him out.
Yeah, he's just, he's putting out, like, techie stuff to help people out, like, I can't even process why this kid would be getting death threats.
Getting death threats, I completely understand.
That makes sense to me, yeah. And then, you know, he says that there's other people that he knows that have also had this happen to them, and like, it's, you know, it's scary. We've had death threats before, like, that wouldn't be new to us. But like, they, you know, it's, I don't know, like, I feel so sad for them whenever he says stuff like that.
You didn't feel sad for me when that guy threatened me?
No, because I just know, like...
Guy told me he was gonna kill me. And...
But we expect that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sori's just looking, I was like, what?
He said he was gonna pick him up by the seat of his pants and throw him through a window. I'm like, he's pushing his baby stroller. I'm like...
He didn't want it. He didn't want it with Vincent.
I'm like, the only reason he's saying that is because he is banking on the fact that you actually live what you're talking about. Because if he actually thought, if you were just walking down the street and you hadn't said that you were Christian and you didn't have any belief system, he would have never said such a thing. And what a stupid thing. Why would you threaten something like that when you're pushing your baby in a stroller? What are you going to do? Put the brake on that and then go grab a hold of...
Well, there was a cop.
And there was a cop there,
that's
too.
That's the big thing, is there was a officer of the law.
So he got all bold, hiding behind the...
You gangster? No, but you yeah. One of the craziest things I remember seeing was ISIS, and they went into a village and they sell these girls into sex slavery. And I remember these girls were being herded off into the thing, and there was this picture, and the people guarding them were women.
Oh, I know.
Like, what the... These are your fellow women. Like, how could you do this to
Honestly,
another woman?
Women are terrible to other women a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, worse than...
It's true.
Because there's some of those times where we've seen, like, different girls that have, like, been in the porn industry or something, and they're trying to get out of it or whatever, and or terrible things will have happened to them that wasn't, like, they go in there, it's their job, like, they're doing this video, and there's certain things that they signed up for that they were going to do, and then they get in there, and then all of a sudden the person just does all these other things, and then if they try to stand up for themselves and say, I don't want that, then all of a sudden people are going after them, and then then other women were saying in the feed, like, oh, well, she got what she wanted, she got what was coming to her, and stuff like that. Like, how are you gonna not, like, I don't think that that's a good job for a woman to have. Like, I would want her to not be in that sort of a situation, but if she's in that situation, you better make damn sure you're only doing what she's saying. Like, how are you going to do these other things and then attack her for having any sort of personal autonomy? Like, it's just crazy to me.
Well, like, and that's what really, really struck me about this song. That line, "You stare, but you'll never see," because, my belief is that God holds back so much evil that we could see, and I think all of us know it instinctively. Like, when you have a movie, like, why is The Purge such a franchise? This idea that if you told people you can do whatever you want without any repercussions, how come nobody's going, really? Anything we want without repercussions? Let's go plant a garden. Why aren't people saying, let's go...
Why wasn't that a boring movie?
Right. Why didn't everybody say, let's go to Walmart and get as much food as possible so that there'll never be another hungry person in America? Right. You see?
Yeah.
Why wasn't that the movie?
Right. Because we all know.
None of us wants to live in a world where even a day where that's possible. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Where what's possible?
Where there would be a purge.
Oh. No.
You don't want to live in a world where that's possible. So, like, what does that tell you about human nature? Yeah. So, I thought that this song is like one of the most, that line, that chorus, "You'll stare but you'll never see," and then the concept of killing purity. You know, because at the end of the song it says, "There's something there's something in you I despise, and then it's purity. What he despises is purity. What we despise is purity. What we despise is
that's crazy.
Is
yeah.
the cleanness and all that, because we love the dirt because all of us are in the dirt in one sense or another.
See, when I heard it, when it said you all stare but you'll never see, I was picturing. Does it say that they just buried her, or did they also like rape her or anything?
No,
like
it
that?
just said they buried her. That's
I
the
guess
thing.
I just assumed that they also did other things. So then when it said you all stare but you'll never see, like I was thinking like they're all staring at her, but they're not going to see who she really is, like who she is at her core. And then it said there's something in you that I despise, because she despises what's in them, like that would do that to her. But I think that you're.
But when I hear something, it's something you can't put your finger on.
Yeah.
And that's human nature.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You know, and it's the nature of human nature where, you know, when you really again, I saw it with anytime we pull up Pantera, people are gonna say he's a Nazi or whatever. Why do you hate him for being a Nazi? This is the thing about hate or despising a person. Let's say that he's a Nazi. I think that's ignorant. I think it's ignorant to be a racist, right? Well, if you lack knowledge, I'm gonna try to school you. Why would you hate somebody for being ignorant? And you could say well, you know, Nazism has hurt people, racism has hurt people. Believe me, I know racism has hurt people. But at the same time, even Roseanne, fuck, she said something and now we're gonna cancel her whole show. Whole show is canceled. Hello? So, we just have this propensity to just hate one another. And we just, but that's the thing, we're blaming it on these surface things, that's why he says it's something in you, because it's inside, it's something that's buried beneath us, and we're just saying that we hate these other people because of what happens on the surface, but it's deeper than that. We hate each other for deeper reasons than that. And at the end of the day, when you hate another person, you're ultimately hating yourself, because that person is an image bearer of God just like you, and you're kind of looking in the mirror. When you destroy another human being, when you kill another human being, you're destroying yourself. And so in doing that to her, they basically murdered themselves, you know. So it's
because when you take part in something like that, you do murder a level of purity within your own self.
Yeah,
you can't get that back. You know?
You're not the same.
You're not right. When I say you can't get that back, I'm not saying that you can't find forgiveness. I'm saying that you can't get that back as in you're forever changed by the things that you do, and the things that you put your hands to, and the things that you put your eyes to. Those things change you regardless of if you want them to or not. They do. And, you know, you can find forgiveness, but it's still going to have an effect on you. It's still going to affect your mind. It's still going to make you stare off when you're in certain situations, you know?
It's a Jewish proverb or a Muslim proverb, is if you saved one person, you saved the world. If you've killed one person, you've killed the entire world. And it's an interesting proverb. But human nature is a hell of a thing, man. I am optimistic about the future, but highly pessimistic about human nature. So how do you connect that, Vin? That's for me to know and you to find out, dog. Yeah, deep song. It's just that chord, and if you hear it on the record, because he didn't sing very well on the thing, but if you hear it on the record, it's very, very beautiful. I'll let you hear it afterwards.
Okay.
What did you think of the live performance?
Well, it's hard because the words were up there, so I wanted to know what it was singing about. What I saw, I love their energy, man. I just love the way. And first of all, did he jump onto the drums? How did those not break? He must have some pretty amazing drums that he can friggin' jump on them. And even when he jumped on him, it was like he did it as part of the music. It was in rhythm. It was in rhythm. I'm like, what? Wow.
I saw that show. They went on tour 2001, 2002. That's when they were
in their prime.
The height of their fucking. You can never do that again. You can't rock like that every. But I remember that was the show where he was like, Mick was like, dude was hand banging hard in the front row. Very, very proud moment for your boy. I still have his pics and all that shit. Where did it go? Where is it?
Oh, they were
It's all in there?
that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
told me you weren't
got
gonna take those out.
I'm not gonna take it out. I'm just saying I still have all that
Oh.
shit from years ago, from
Yeah,
2001.
I'm looking at the little envelope, I think, right
Yeah,
now.
17 years
Sorry,
ago,
guys.
man. Da-na-na-na. Yeah, so it was just their live show was insane. But you know, for this song, I really am happy that they did that because like the energy that they put out and all that is like matches the subject matter, you know, and really, man, that was just such a crazy song. I remember when that song came on. When I used to go to live shows, I would not let myself listen to the thing for a month. I wouldn't let myself listen to any metal
You're
for a
so
month.
cute the way you do things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then what?
Oh, but then you get there and you're like, fuck it.
Yes! And now I would like listen. I'd probably listen to it all the way up to it, so that way I could be like, "Now I'm gonna hear it live."
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
I don't know. I haven't been, so
I was
don't
like,
know.
when it was time to go to shows, I was super. It was religious. I was super focused. I was
If
like,
we
all
go
right,
to a
I
show,
would
are you
map
gonna
it out.
forget that I'm there?
No, that's the fun of it, you know.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm gonna map it out for fucking 30 days, and I'm gonna like not listen to music, and like anytime I get angry, like I'm not gonna fight, you know, like I'm just gonna like keep it all inside, so that when I go on the show, it's like boom. And I was not like a big mosh pit guy. I was like front row. I'm going 8 hours before. Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, we did, and I got to be in the front row.
No, that's not me.
Yeah.
But
So-
I've never been to a show that I like.
You're
I
one of
just went
those
to little
people that
Christian
gets like. You're one of
concerts.
those people that gets a press pass or something, and they'll let you in the back. So you just you're waiting for.
Well, that would be
nobody.
nice.
Yeah. That's your luck. My luck was I was out there for 8 hours. Somebody tried to cut in front of me. I was like, look, motherfucker. Of course, they didn't know that I wasn't gonna fight because.
Because you had already decided.
Yeah, I had already decided I'm not doing nothing. They didn't know that.
You must have looked so intense too. When you
was.
get focused, man.
I was. Plus, I was in all my shit. And
Yeah.
fucking black nail polish, my spikes. I was the only black jelly bean there. I didn't want it with your boy.
Right?
Yeah, just like, rah. Oh, it was such a crazy release when like
Oh my gosh.
the metal came on and like, because this is shit. I listened to it for hours and hours and hours every day.
Yeah.
You know, and then not being able to have it, like your soul goes into withdrawal. Like, what the fuck, man? Where's our metal? Shut the fuck up. We're gonna, yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but then I let loose. Nobody could ever rock it
Ew,
hard.
you're so intense.
Yeah. I was. I put everything out there. Watch all.
Watch all.
All right, what do you give this song?
I forgot we were rating it. I usually think through the whole
That
thing
was
what
like
to give it.
They've grown as musicians too, because that was like the epitome of the new metal song.
I mean, I liked it. I'd probably go with an 8. What is it for you?
I'm in a buried candle. I have never felt so final. That's a good line. Such a
I
smart
felt a little
line.
bit trapped on parts of it, so that was a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not a
In the
dog, but I'm
kennel?
the one you dogging. Yeah.
I'm buried in a kettle. I'm in a buried kennel.
I've never felt so final. I'm in a buried kennel. I've never felt so final. That's such a good song.
Yeah, and I thought they communicated like hands over face or bearing. And then when it was saying like when they
I
said
can't get out.
I'm dying, I think I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like being in that situation, like being buried alive, you suffocate.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's terrible.
Empathy. Well, she was saying initially, empathy out of my way. I can't die. She couldn't die because you're buried alive. You'd much rather die. But
Oh, I know.
You know,
Oh,
it's terrible.
yeah. I just can't even process why somebody would want to do that to somebody else. Even like when they would stone people, you know, in the Old Testament. When I think about that, I'm like, you're throwing rocks at somebody's head until they die. I don't like it at all.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
This song is
Oh, what were you thinking?
Well, I don't like it. I wanted you to say something about it.
Well, I was in a conversation one time with somebody, and he was like, "Would you participate in that?" And I said, "No. No, I wouldn't participate in stoning somebody to death." And he's like, "Well," he was a Christian guy, and he was trying to get me to validate the death penalty. Remember that whole situation?
I remember.
And I said no. He's like, "Well, God commanded it." I said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "I wouldn't stone anybody to death. I'm a Christian. I'm not in the Old Testament. Bless God." That's one of the awesome things about being on this side. Jesus died, so we don't need to stone anybody to death because we can point people to a death that's already happened.
I think if I was back then, I don't know that I would have done it.
I wouldn't have done it.
I think I would have just gone to the back.
There's like 2 or 3 episodes of people stoning other people in the Old Testament. That's it. I don't think the community could handle it.
Oh, really? That doesn't really...
It's only
why do you always... I always thought it happened like a lot.
Yeah, people act like that. I don't think that the people could take it.
Yeah.
You can't...
You live among these people.
Very, very hard to do it.
Ugh.
You know?
Yeah.
But then again, you know... I don't know. It's a crazy thing. But, yeah, man. What do you give the song?
I said 8.
8. I give it a 9.7.
That makes me want to put it up more.
Good solid
I liked it, but I feel like that there was so much going on between having to go here to there to see the lyrics that I really liked the energy of it. I think I'll give it a 9.
Oh!
I don't usually let your answers influence mine on this particular subject, but I think that I'm gonna let it this time.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's a more honest number, so I'm gonna go with that.
Well, like the Carnival song, I don't know what I gave the Carnival song, but I want to give that like a 9.9 because I love that song so much. Did you hear me listening to it in the shower?
Yes.
I love that song so much. And then there's the that Pantera joint. That shit was tight. That breakdown. I felt like such a bad motherfucker in the shower.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dime Bag. Get him, Dime. Like, get him, Dime. That's like that's a 9.9 just for that. So I changed. If you stay till the end of this, write Pantera. Write Dime. Okay, forget Pantera. Write Dime gets a dime if you stayed because that's a fucking 10 right there. All right. Anyway, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Then I did my thing, oh my God, I went to bed, and by the end of the way, I got done. I died.